Oh, now I wasn't only supporting my habit, I was supporting other people's habits around
And
me.
you had the money to do it.
Exactly.
So it's kind of going right back to when you were younger to where you wanted to fit in and be liked.
Yes.
Now, is it also, you said you had issues with, some issues with concentrating and that. Is mental health also part of this, or have they?
I'm still learning that. I'm going through the process right now of understanding myself,
Right.
understanding if there is something else that may chemically be imbalanced in my brain, where I can better understand why I have that need to fit in more and want the attention from the outside.
Right.
So I've just made an appointment to go see a psychologist.
Oh, good for you.
This is based on understanding how my mind works and whether or not I have that chemical imbalance where I don't know if you can tell by talking, I do have a hyperactive side. I do have a lot of energy, and sometimes with that energy you need to have proper places to disperse it.
Right.
And
right. Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
I'm finding now that I'm in recovery, there are so many places where I can disperse that energy. And I've had doctors that have tried to prescribe me medications, thinking that it would help me. But that's where I fall back into my process of recovery, where I do not want to be dependent on drugs.
Right, and when you're getting prescriptions, that's also another legal way of getting drugs.
Exactly.
Right, and a lot of people have that. A lot of people, they're addicted to prescription drugs. It's a little different, but
Exactly.
it's still the same cycle, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And I find that through my recovery and better understanding myself and involving myself with better people and doing better things, I don't need that medication.
So let me ask you this then. What was the point in your life when enough was enough? When you finally decided to get out of that circle?
When I almost died. When I had, I believe it was God or my higher power that came into my life. My auntie prayed for me. I was hurting myself so much every day. I was with the wrong people that didn't give a damn whether or not I lived or died. The drug dealers were not being, you know how people have allergic reactions to things, like say for example if a restaurant has peanuts or something like that, there's proper food safety guidelines.
Right.
Well, the drug dealers weren't doing that.
Well, do they care though?
They don't.
They don't care, right?
They don't. And neither do the people that are receiving those drugs and distributing them. They are more concerned about the money in their pocket and the profit.
And continuing the addiction so they can continue to get that money.
I believe that in a way that those drug dealers and those people that are distributing the drugs, they have addiction of their own, and that's the money. And which goes back to where I didn't care what I was doing to myself or to other people in order to supply my addiction. And so that's where I believe these people that are distributing the drugs are doing exactly the same thing.
An intentional cycle.
It's a sabotage.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's where I started to realize, I mean, I was strangled. I was left in a ditch.
Oh my.
I'm still, like, I'm remembering this constantly. And you know, those traumas repeated themselves over and over again. I believe that through my auntie's prayers, through my family's prayers, and through certain people in my life, I was able to start the process of recovery. And I believe the day that I was arrested, after being strangled and left in the ditch, after overdosing because my drugs were mixed, I realized that I had a higher power that gave me a second chance.
And then you wanted to
And I was not going to turn back.
Good for you.
There was no exceptions for anything. There was no excuses. And I wanted to continue on because it was really hard for me to, they call it white knuckling it. When you want to quit the drugs and you want to so bad, it's called white knuckling it when you do not start the actual program. Because the program of recovery is accepting the supports that you have, reaching out for help, understanding the 12 steps, getting a sponsor, having good people and places and things in your life, and letting go of the bad. Right?
My son, that's quite the story and journey you've had. So, wow, that's incredible. Let me ask you this: how are you doing today?
202 days sober, still praying for the forgiveness in my life to those that I've harmed. accepting the things that I've done wrong and understanding that they were part of my growth. Understanding people's resentments against me, understanding where I've done people wrong, and also allowing myself to move on and move forward, and not letting what I've done in the past set me back.
Nice.
It's a process, and it's going to be something that I need to do, and I need to follow through with every single day.
Well, good for you, Amy. That's really good. Exploring your life goals and values. What sort of things are important to you? What sort of person would you like to be?
I want to be the type of person, and I am that type of person, that will walk by somebody out there and see someone that I feel something that overwhelms me, that makes me want to walk up to them and ask them if they're okay.
Wow, that's incredible. I think that's amazing, and I think what you've gone through is, I mean, I've never gone through what you've gone through, and I'm sure some people may have that are watching today. But that's an incredible experience and quite a journey. If things working out in the best possible way, where do you see yourself in a year from now?
Celebrating my sobriety and celebrating it with people that I've gotten to know through the recovery process. Looking myself in the mirror and knowing that I've become a beautiful person, and that I've worked really hard, and I deserve to have good people and good things happen in my life, and sharing that story so that anyone who does struggle understands that I have hit rock bottom. I have been in a situation where I had to pick myself up off the ground, and I took responsibility for my actions, and I will stand up, and I will feel proud to know that I have made it through the recovery, and I will continue to make it through recovery. And I want to have a crowd of people around me that I've helped along the way, so that they can celebrate their recovery as well.
Nice. That's amazing. I mean, like I say, I'm just amazed when I hear stories of recovery like this, and how well you are doing and others are doing. And I think that's a wonderful thing. And what would you tell someone who's thinking about using drugs based on your experience?
There is a better high in life that you get naturally. That is actually, they say service. That's the step. That's the 12th step, and you carry out service every day in your life. You can have that feeling of. You don't necessarily have to numb everything. You have to work through it. You have to understand it. You have to do the 12 steps. You have to. And I mean, I had to, in order to be where I am today. If I wouldn't have done those 12 steps, if I wouldn't have reached out and asked for help, if I wouldn't have accepted God into my life and my higher power, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I still need to have that in my recovery process every single day. So if you're struggling with addictions and you want to quit, it's not going to be easy. I won't sugarcoat it, but I won't co-sign your bullshit either. You know? And I will tell you right off the bat that you have to accept what you've done wrong in your life. You have to move forward. You have to ask for forgiveness from yourself, from God, and from those that you've harmed. And in this process, some things are going to be really difficult to make it through. But when you don't feel like you can make it, all you have to do is count the hours that you have made it, so make it ahead. Because as long as you pray, as long as you pause and you take in everything that you have experienced, and you understand you made it through that, you can, if you've gone out there and you've walked in minus 30 to go and get your next hit, you can go out there and stay warm, and you can take that time inside, and you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I want this bad enough, I can do it.
That's something. That's great advice. I mean, I've never walked in your shoes. Never walked in my brother's shoes. I've seen the destruction that it can cause families, and your whole family is now together and supportive, and you've got a church. And you know, as a matter of fact, Amy works at the food pantry and for Robert McClure United Church. And that's one of the organizations that we are actually having to receive the donations for the walk. So, and also we're looking to have food donations. It's going to be at the walk, and she goes every Thursday, helps out at the food pantry, and she gives up her time. She is incredible. she's there, she is doing what she's doing, and I think it's just amazing that, you know, to see where she is today. I think it's incredible. I think that you are a special gift, and I'm so glad we could have this conversation, and I'm so glad that you agreed to talk to me today about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm going to pray for you for continued success on that journey to your recovery, because it's important.
And I'm facing life on life's terms, and I'm letting go and letting God. So no matter where things go a little bit up and down in my life, I still believe that I have a higher power that's looked after me and taken me from where I was at rock bottom. And I believe that with my own strength in my recovery, I can continue to make it through anything that might try to take me.
Well, I believe you can do it, and I think everyone that knows you believe you can do it, because you're proving that you can. And like I say, this is an incredible story, and I'm glad you shared it. And for those of you that want to share their story, you can go to the website. It's johnsjourneywalk.com, and there's a link if you would like to share your story. We really want to get the message out about addiction, recovery, and mental health issues, so that we can together do something about it and raise the awareness for it, so that we can combat it, because it's everywhere, and it's getting worse nowadays with everything. So thank you so much, Amy.
I just want to say that if you find someone out there that is homeless, that is struggling with addiction, don't judge them. You have no idea what has gone through their life, what traumas they've experienced, or the things that may not happen for them. And some people are very destructive in their nature, and in some cases, I believe that there are people that may be self-centered and selfish that will walk by a person and see them struggling and turn their nose up at them. And I think that is the completely opposite of what you should do.
Yeah. And you're proving that too. So congratulations, Amy. I think it's just amazing. I mean, I hope you guys have enjoyed this interview, and I've heard you, hope you've taken something from it. I mean, her story is something that I think is pretty amazing. So again, stay tuned. If you like this video, like the page, and any comments, please feel free to comment on this. I'll be posting this on the website as well as on the YouTube page, which is just in the works, and I'll also be doing a transcript on the website, just so that we can have a written version of it. And thank you everybody for tuning in, and thank you, Amy. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I'm
You're
gonna give you a
wonderful.
hug.
Yeah.
And also, make sure you give somebody a hug today, because
Yes.
the hugs are the best.
All right, there we go. Hugs are hugs. All right, thanks everybody. Still going. Hit the stop.